Hello guys, how are you doing? Welcome to a new video tutorial from Udemy. Today we are going to have another video tutorial of the second version of my setup, the web developer or the full stack web developer setup on Visual Studio Code. So I'm just going to walk you through which extensions do I have installing either for front end, for back end, or just for other common extensions that can be used on both or like separately on both like back end and front end. So I'm just going to go ahead and walk you through and just show you my brand setup. Also, before starting, just go ahead and check out all the tutorials if you haven't already. There's like plenty of tutorials and they are growing each week. We're trying to release new video tutorials, or high quality video tutorials. Just go to ipinus.com. You're going to probably find them all there, or just YouTube channel Ipinus, and you're going to find all of them. So without further ado, let's go ahead and open up the Visual Studio Code. So this is, I've pulled off the, as you can see, enabled, extensions. I have 46 extensions in here, and like they're all extensions I need and I use on my daily thing. They're not all necessary or something, but you have to choose which one you need after trying it, of course. So you can't judge anything before trying it. So you can go ahead after finishing this tutorial, just go ahead. You can find the link in the description below with all those extensions and the link and stuff. So you can just go ahead and install the extensions on your setup, try them for a week or so, and then you can decide whether this extension is useful for you or it's not, or you can discard it or remove it or whatever. So without further ado, let's go ahead and start. First things first, we're going to start with the front-end extensions. So I'm just going to walk you through these front-end extensions that are going to help me to build, the actual HTML front-end, or throughout CSS or JavaScript, debug something like color picking or something, and loads of other things. So the first one, as you can probably see, this is the auto close tag. So this auto close tag, I've covered the last video tutorial, I believe, which basically it does what it says. So whenever you try, as you can see in here, you type the first tag like a div or something, it can automatically close the div or append the closing tag of whatever element you are currently typing, which makes the typing super faster for you, and you can just achieve more through this typing or by automatically closing the tab. So it's super useful thing, just auto close tag, and it's just super useful. The second one, we have auto rename tag. So yeah, it does what it says from the name pretty much right there. So you try, as you can see, to rename something, and the ending or the close tag, it automatically starts to rename by itself. So without further ado, you just like rename the end or the beginning of the tag, whatever, and it just gonna match either the end or the other part of the tag. So yeah, super useful thing for the auto rename, especially if you're dealing a lot with HTML files or something and trying to type a lot of HTML code, a lot of HTML structures and elements. This is gonna be an awesome thing for you to choose. The other one, we're gonna have the auto prefixer. The auto prefixer is just basically for the CSS. Not only the CSS, you can use it for preprocessors like the SAS or SCSS or the less, which basically, as you can see in here from the GIF or the GIF, I don't know how you exactly spell that, but you can probably tell that, as you can see, it has only display flex, but whenever it tries to use the auto prefixer, it's just going to add the other display for other, for other platforms or for other browsers. Let's say you're only supporting right now Chrome. Now it adds the WebKit support and the Microsoft's Internet Explorer support and all the different things. So it can support multiple browser just by clicking one button without going through all of your code and doing this, because this is very useful for me. I've tried it and I've put it in my website, in my last website version, and it was just such an awesome thing. A lot of people are liking it, and a lot of people are loving using this because it's super useful for you, especially if you're dealing a lot of the CSS and you don't really want to lose your time putting things for other browsers or supporting other browsers along the way. So yeah, super useful thing. Auto prefixer, make sure you go ahead and check it out. The other thing, I think for the front end, we have the color info. So the color info, the color picker. Just go with the color picker because they are a little bit identical. This gives you like a little bit info, and this gives you more control over your color. So as you can clearly see in here, whenever you type in, let's say, a hex color or an RGB color, it gives you this really nice, awesome pop-up. Let me just get rid of this. This really nice pop-up of the color picker, and lets you pick from the Visual Studio Code, from inside the Visual Studio Code, pick whatever color you like, and you can format it however you want, like hex, RGB, whatever, and you can put it right over there on the CSS. Super useful. I've used this a lot, and it has been such an awesome plugin for me, especially when trying to, like, I don't know, tweak the color a little bit, just move it a little bit up or down, I don't know, tweak it, make it a little bit, just adjust the color a little bit. This is super useful, and you can just go ahead and try it if you are a front-end developer or if you're dealing a lot with CSS. The other thing we probably gonna need to do, or we need as a front-end developers, well, let me just find something in here. I've got the old extensions in here, but I'm just trying to find the ones for the, front-end developers, only front-end. I think, yeah, the last thing is prettier. I think, as you can see, 3 million or almost 4 million downloads. So probably all of you guys know about this, but for some of you who don't, Prettier is a plugin or is an extension that can allow you to prettify your code. So let's say, I don't know, your code is a little bit ugly when you try to type it faster or something. On save, when you Control S or Control Save, it's just gonna like format this for you the way you want it to be, and it's just gonna like, add some, I don't know, if you, let's say you forgot about semicolon at the end of a line of code or something, it's just gonna go ahead and add it for you specific or easily and automatically without further ado. It supports TypeScript, JavaScript, and CSS, which is super useful, and this is the most plugin I love in Visual Studio Code so far, so make sure you go ahead and check it out, Prettier, if you haven't already. Now, for the backend side, there are a couple of extensions that you quietly gonna need, especially if you're a backend developer. There isn't a lot as a front end because the backend is pretty much the same as a front end. So whenever you need an extension as a front end developer or something, you are going to probably need it as a backend developer because it does the same thing. I don't know, like path interlicense or something. But there are some that you might need, and they might actually help you a lot. So this is the PHP interlicense. Yeah, this is, it does what it says. PHP, it gives you a brief interlicense about all the Composer installed. Let's say you're using a Composer or any other PHP package manager. It's just going to help you a lot, give you an interlicense, a quick interlicense to import and require all the packages you download, the third-party packages, or even your files when you try to require them. Just going to give you an interlicense. Interlicense about predefined or global functions, predefined classes, variables and global variables and all of different things. And also, after formatting, it's going to give you like some linting, just a very basic linting, because it's not that much of a complicated thing, but it's just going to give you a very basic linting. It does the same as interlicense, and interlicense, I have them both because one completes the other. So there are some other missing features on one, the other one has the other missing features, and so on and so forth. So that's why I'm having two interlicense. They're doing the same thing, but they have a missing features, so they just complete each other's. So as you can see in here, it gives you quite interesting interlicense things that are going to help you a lot to build and create code faster using PHP. So make sure to go ahead and check PHP interlicense and PHP interlicense, and yeah, you should be right over there. The second thing, if you're a Python developer and you're actually dealing with Django or Flask, and you actually like working with Python a lot, not only for web development or something, you can, choose for something else. Python is quite interesting as well. So the Python plugin, it comes pre-installed with Visual Studio Code, but some of the versions doesn't have that, so make sure to go ahead and check it out. We have Python Extended. I have that version because, it helps a lot. It completes the Python. The official Python extension has some missing features, while the Python Extended extends that and adds more features to it. So that's why I like it. It adds, as you can see in here, the interlicense, how to import things, predefine things on your environment, third-party packages, and loads of other things. So it can help you a lot and also give you some information about the predefined, modules like the system modular or the socket modular, the random modular, or whatever module you're actually working on. It's just going to help you a lot, and also across your different source files. So make sure also check out the Python for Visual Studio Code. As you can see, there's 3 versions, mainly because missing features, and you can quietly check it out. Well, I think the last thing we're gonna probably cover on the back end, as I told you, there isn't that much of things. So there is the REST clients extension. The REST client extension is basically, if you're dealing a lot with, as a backend developer, you're probably going to deal with HTTP requests, responses, and parsing parameters, and validation, and all the different things, and also authentication. Well, you might need to test your API. I don't know, you're building an API, and you send in a request, an HTTP request, and try and post HTTP request, and you're probably just going to test it, if it works or no, what it does, what is the error, what is the bug, and something like this. So So the REST client is going to allow you to send and receive HTTP requests or even other requests similar to HTTP, like WebSocket request or something, right from the Visual Studio Code. So without moving out of Visual Studio Code, you can just go ahead and send it to your web server that is running as well on the Visual Studio Code. So you can do that, all of that, using the documentation. So it has a brief documentation, as you can see from the GIF right here. Just by using like an awesome syntax like gets, and you give it whatever URL, or you want to send a post request or something, and you can specify the version and many other custom options you can include there. And it has like a specific syntax. You can go ahead and check out the documentation. As you can see from the rating, you can tell it's a 5 stars, and there's 1.5 million downloads, which probably means and let you know that this extension is really trustful and really helpful. So make sure to go ahead and check it out if you are a backend developer. Now, the last thing, we're going to move the section, which are the common extensions, which actually being shared between both the front-end developers and the back-end developers. Actually, I'm just going to call it the full-stack developer, which needs the front-end and the back-end tools, both of them. So they are quite a lot, and we're just going to go ahead and cover them. Now, for the full-stack developer extensions, the first thing I'm going to cover is the settings sync. So as a full-stack developer, you probably have more than one computer you're actually working on. Let's say you have like your home computer, your laptop, your work computer. So having a different Visual Studio Code versions can be complicated, and you're going to kind of find like problems installing all of the extensions. If you update something, you're going to need to update it in all of your computers and stuff. If you try to install, something new extension on one computer, let's say your laptop, you need to install it on other computers, and so on and so forth. So it's kind of a really annoying thing to do. With the settings sync, it can synchronize all of your settings into the cloud, and you can import them from different computers. You can let different computers or your computers do the job for you. So automatically they can sync, they can import, and they can download all the extensions, either the settings, your default user settings from Visual Studio Code. You're having like preview preferences or something, preview themes, icons and stuff. They can do all of that for you, and many more. So it's a really awesome thing. I've been using this for like a couple of months now, and it's helped me a lot with my work computer and my laptop and home computer. So it's quite an interesting thing. It uses the Git to share off your things, so it's completely secure. Make sure to go ahead and check out this settings sync extension. The second one we have in the Sublime Text Map. So this by far is very important. I've been using it for a couple of years, and it's such a huge extended thing. If you like Sublime, if you like the Sublime Text Key Map, it's just going to go ahead and add for you this really awesome, from the right hand side, the view map. So if you're having a lot of lines of code, let's say thousands lines of code in one single file, you can just go ahead and go through that, through different viewports, teleport from one code to another and try to view different codes, and very easily using this really small size, Sublime Text Key Map. So it's very useful. It's called Sublime Text Key Map. Most of you guys know about this, and you probably have all of that installed. The other thing, we have the surround extension. This is not really popular or something, but I really liked this extension after using it for a couple of times. It's actually what it does. So it actually surrounds your code. So let's say you're having, like you try to import something, but this something or this like module is not going to be available till some event has been triggered. So you need to like add a try and catch to this block of code. So without just going ahead, typing try and catch and all different things, you can just select the code, go to the surround extension from the command palette, and just try from a different, available things, functionalities like try and catch, or add an if statement or whatever. You can easily add that without problem. So you can, control using a specific control or command. You can do that easily, and they can just automate the process of adding different code blocks and different structures and stuff. You can go ahead and check it out to understand better what it means. It's called the surround. Now, for the other thing, we have there's two extensions here. As you can see, the to-do highlights and the to-do tree, they do pretty much the same, but the to-do tree extension is a bit more advanced than the highlights one. This one, what it does, as you can see, it highlights whatever comment starts with to do, either to do or I don't know if you can find this, but if you put in here to do, it's just going to highlight, as you can see, using the yellow, so you can clearly see it through like a loads of lines of code, or like tons of thousands of lines of codes. Or you have an error, or you have a bug, or you can type in here fix me, and it's just going to take a different color and stuff, so you can clearly notice it, and you can, I don't know, after a while, you can come back to your code, understand it, and read it, and obviously, I don't know, do the to-do, or fix a bug, or whatever, so it's super, super useful. If you're like that developer, you can share your code with different developers, with your team, or you put it in GitHub. This is super useful for you to use the to-do tree. So it's really lightweight, and yeah, it's super cool. I like it. To-do tree. Moving on for the console log. Now, if you're that guy who loves to debugging and testing, and you're having a lot of problems, then you decided pretty much to log that to the console to see the actual results. So the Turbo Console Log extension helps you easily just by, command palettes, select some variable and Control P or select display the log messages. You're just gonna easily automatically display the log message without retyping it all the times. And you can easily as well delete all of the log messages you have typed. If you're using these extensions, of course, you can just delete it from the whole file or even the whole projects, which, after finishing a project or trying to deploy in it, you can just go ahead and go through all the console logs. Probably there's tons of thousands of them on your code base or source code. You can just go through all of them using this extension and delete all of them. So it's super useful extension. From the GIFs in here, you can clearly see up by just clicking the A, it gives you like a brief console log, TCL and whatever. So yeah, it's just gonna like console log whatever for anything. And with the difference, as you can clearly things, custom formatting things, so you can clearly notice things. We have the Visual Studio Code dark theme. This is the theme I'm using. If you can go back to the style.css, this is the theme. I don't know, up.js, as you can see, this is the theme I'm using. If I type in here class or something, this is actual theme, lets for variables and stuff. So the theme is called Visual Studio Code dark theme. It's an awesome theme and it's very enjoyable. It's from the Visual Studio Code. So all the Visual Studio, if you have used Visual Studio before, you would like this theme, obviously. We have the Visual Studio Code icons. This is very, very, very awesome pack. It gives you the icons thing. You can go back in here. As you can see, all the icons and stuff in here, like the HTML icon, the CSS, NPM packages, Webpack, whatever you have there, it's just gonna support it with the Visual Studio Code icons plugin in there. Well, I think there's one thing missing in this list, which gonna be probably the code spell check. And going up, well, there's two more things, the Git history and the Git indicators. This Git history gives you a really, really nice interface to see all of the Git history, the commits, the pushes, the requests and stuff. So if you have any Git repository or a team, or you're working as a team, this extension definitely needs to be among your favorite extensions, as well as the Git indicators, which can indicate the the statuses of your Git thing, as you can see here from the status bar, the bottom status bar of Visual Studio Code, which can be very helpful for you to see the actual statuses and what are your team is doing, or what is actually the latest news about your Git repository. And probably the last thing we're gonna cover is the S-links with the stars. So this is by far the most important thing, and it comes pre-installed actually with the latest versions of Visual Studio Code, but I just want to point this out as the last thing. It gives you a super awesome linting to your JavaScript code, so if you have any errors, bugs, it knows about everything. JavaScript or TypeScript called the TS-lint, pretty much identical but a couple of different things. It does what it says. It just links the JavaScript, and if you don't have that, you definitely need to try, or you definitely need to go ahead and install this, because it is far more important than anything else. So thank you guys for watching. That was my setup. As you can see, I have a lot of extensions in here, but I tried to make them simple as possible, and I try to explain what they does and why they are very important, and my experience with them. So yeah, that was actually, guys, for this tutorial. If you like this kind of, I don't know, my setup and stuff, just like, you know, I can let you know more about my life, my career and stuff, and that will be really awesome. So let me know in the comments. I will be very awesome thing to do in the channel. So thank you guys for watching. As I said again, I will catch you all guys in another video tutorial.